One of the key middle game plans in chess is launching a pawn storm, especially in positions with opposite side castling. After castling queenside, white prepares the pawn storm with h3, forcing the black bishop back and enabling g4. The pawns advance relentlessly with h4 and g5, tearing open black's kingside defenses. This creates decisive threats, culminating in a winning attack supported by piece activity. However, you must be careful that all of your push pawns are well covered, so you don't lose them. In this game, black shows how to exploit weak squares of a single color. The queen jumps to h4, forcing g3, which creates light square weaknesses. After the queen retreats to h3 and white's king moves to f2, black's bishop takes on c3, and the pawn recapture leaves the light squares wide open. With bf5, black forces a trade of bishops, leaving the queen and knight to dominate the weakened squares. The lesson? Exposed squares of one color are like an invitation. Attack them before your opponent can recover. A common way to unleash rook potential is through the Rook Lift, where the rook climbs up its file and swings into action across the rank. Here is an example from Professional Match that highlight this plan. In this 2014 classic, Naroditsky prepares his rook for battle with rook e3, getting ready to hop over to rook h3. With black's defenses tied up, white's rook works in harmony with the queen and knight to dominate the kingside. The move looks simple, but it's like setting up a spotlight on a theater stage. Everything else follows its lead. This game demonstrates the kingside sacrifice strategy. After both sides develop their pieces, white plays bishop g5, aiming at black's kingside. When black pushes h6 and g5 to attack the bishop, white sacrifices a knight with knight takes g5. Recapturing with bishop takes g5, white opens up black's kingside, preparing for a powerful attack. The strategy relies on sacrificing material to create weaknesses in the opponent's defense and launch a swift attack. In this famous game from the candidates, Fischer made a huge blunder by capturing the pawn on h2 with his bishop. His bishop became trapped. This move is a classic example of a piece being restricted, when a piece is unable to move freely and is confined to a limited number of squares, often resulting in its loss or the undermining of the player's position. This is an example from the endgame, but it can also be part of your plan in the middle game. In this game, white trades queens and rooks to simplify the position. By doing so, white exchanges pieces while maintaining their material advantage of an extra pawn. This is a key strategy. When you're up material, trading pieces reduces your opponent's chances for counterplay. As fewer pieces remain, white's extra pawn becomes more powerful and easier to push, leading to a favorable endgame. This strategy eliminates complexities and brings the game closer to a win. In this position, after bishop takes f6, white places a knight on an outpost at d5. An outpost is a square in the opponent's territory that is difficult for them to attack, often because their pawns can't reach it. The knight on d5 is well supported by white's e4 pawn and cannot be easily challenged by black's pieces. This gives white a strong central position, allowing the knight to control key squares and apply pressure on black's position. Passive moves like h3, a3, or moving the king are often used as waiting moves in chess. These moves don't immediately challenge the opponent, but they serve several purposes. They allow you to observe your opponent's plan before committing to a strategy. Such moves can also prevent specific threats, like stopping a knight from advancing to squares like g4 or preparing for better king safety. Additionally, moves like a3 can create more flexibility for your pawns without committing them too early. While useful in certain situations, relying too heavily on these passive moves can be risky, as they don't directly confront your opponent's position. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing, because new chess lesson under 5 minutes is coming up every week.